Hello everyone, my name is Starlight. I just finished reading Year 1 by Nora Roberts, Chronicles of the One, Book 1. The reason why I read this book in the first place was because I saw it got a lot of attention when it first came out. I personally have never read a book by Nora Roberts before this particular book came out this year. I I didn't know what it was about, so I went online and I got to read a few chapters for free. And I was interested, so I got the book, and it starts out with a family who go on their annual vacation every year to Scotland, and the first patient zero, Ross McLeod. I'm very sorry for the pronunciation, but he is patient zero, and he pretty much starts the apocalypse, unfortunately. And when he travels back to his family, they spread it to other people in the airport when they go home, who spread it to everyone in the planes that they get on, who spread it all over the world. In the end, about 80% of the world's population dies, not just from the apocalypse, but from each other, which is rather realistic if you think about it. But the plague also starts some people getting magical powers, which puts them into a lot of different categories, such as human, elf, fairy, witch, or just a regular human being who just happens to have a power, which is what this book describes them as. If I am missing one, I'm very sorry. I probably just can't remember at the moment. There are also a lot of different main characters, and it's hard to keep track of them all, especially when they all appear in the same chapter. Two of the main characters that I should mention are Max and Lana. Max and Lana are very significant when it comes to the One, because they are actually the One's parents. The One doesn't actually appear until halfway through the book. The One doesn't really have a significant role in this book because, again, it's year one, and the One is supposed to be the cliche savior of everyone. And the crow on the cover is actually very significant too, because the crow appears in chapter 1, and it's supposed to have had a huge role in the starting of the doom, as everyone calls it. I know everyone who's interested has read at least the first 3 chapters, which are free online. Pretty much anywhere. Barnes & Noble, Goodreads. If they still do that, I'm not sure. But if anyone's still interested, I thought this part would be pretty good because Arliss Reed is also another significant character. She is actually a news reporter that never stopped her job of reporting the news, which is what a lot of people needed. Let's see. Arliss sat in what had been the den in a 2-bedroom house, painstakingly emphasis on pain, transcribing her notes on an ancient underwood typewriter. Bill Anderson had hauled it over to her from a junk store titled Bygones. It was big, heavy, clunky, but with it she could produce a page or two of community news every day. She was still a damn reporter. She called her effort the New Hope Bulletin and hoped to Christ that Chuck made good on his determination to bring back the internet. She shared the little white brick house with its wide front porch and narrow backyard with Fred. Fred is actually another really good character. She's a fairy. She could get into another house. She could fly. I thought it was pretty cool. Chuck lived next door, having claimed big surprise the basement of the red brick house as his own. while Bill and Jonah took 2 of the 3 bedrooms. Rachel, Katie, and the babies lived in the bigger 2-story corner house on the other side. They grouped together by habit and instinct, and the location convenience of having the elementary school just across the street. There, Rachel and Jonah had set up a kind of medical center. Administration offices were the exam rooms, a community center in the cafeteria, and a combination of daycare and education in the classrooms. This part of the book, which is pretty much a little over halfway through, since the book is 419 pages, is where everyone pretty much groups together in the book and tries to pretty much start over and bring the world back together, try to have normal lives. Since this is year 1, of course, doesn't last. Arliss, Reed, and Chuck and Fred are actually 3 of the characters I would like to see again, because it ends with Lana, and another character I think is going to play a significant role later, named, let's see, I think it was Simon. I don't want to flip to the page just in case it ruins the ending, but all in all, I think this is a pretty good book. I think it's pretty realistic when it comes to an apocalypse that's occurring, because the first thing you want to do is find out if your family's alive, and if you can't find out, you want to go to the last place that you knew they were, and if you see them again, then you'd be overcome with joy. And the apocalypse, how it spread through skin-to-skin contact, I thought that was pretty realistic too. People going crazy after everything occurred by killing a lot of other things. This book is not for, I think it's a little more grown up because of, let's say there are a couple of graphic visuals that the book describes throughout the book. But I personally give this book 4.5 stars out of 5. I didn't give it that last half star because I thought it started out a little slow for me personally, but it did pick up really fast, but then it kind of slowed down again, and it picked up, slowed down again, and it picked up. But that's just me, and I pretty much rarely give a perfect score for any book. And 4.5 stars is pretty high for me. If I told anyone, and you followed me on Goodreads, you'd know I rarely give 4.5 stars in general, too. I usually give 2 or 3 stars. But I highly recommend this book for anyone who's been considering reading it. And if you're interested in my reviews in the future, I'll see you in the next video. Okay, thank you. Bye.